I sometimes feel like the millennial pause, if anyone knows what I mean. Oh, I have to zoom it in. Yeah. Yeah. Sometimes I feel like I do the millennial pause, which I probably do, but I just think it would be funny. It's like funny to think about. Now, how come oh, it's the same. Hello, hi. Oh my gosh, you're early. You're early. Oh, hold on. I'm like barely situated. I'm barely situated. Okay, let me pull up these and then pull up these and put this right here. I'm finally early. No, I feel like you've been early before. You've been early before. I should put this right here and then just stick this in the yeah. That's how I want to do that. Anyways, hi everyone. Is this too low? Be honest. Oh, my stand is like not having it today. Honestly, is that too sideways? Be honest. It's sliding down anyways, so no, it's sideways. Everyone, hold on, let me. No, that's sorry, team. Jesus, oh my god, sorry. Jesus. Ah. How do I make it so that it's? Let me just do it like, oh. That's horrible everywhere. I'm so sorry. Ah, I'm sorry. Thought you were gonna be mysterious and just voice and Soho face. No. I think honestly, my look was a little cute today. So, Jesus. There you go. Yeah, for real. It's just, okay, my tripod is like, I wonder if I spin it around. Maybe I'd use a different leg. Alright, maybe if I just don't touch it, it'll be fine. It'll be fine. Yeah, camera problems. I know. Hopefully, if I just, yeah, if I just leave it alone, it'll be okay. Hello, hi. Please address the rumors you intend to shave your eyebrows during the stream. As you mentioned, those are just rumors, okay? Those are just rumors. Don't know what you're talking about. Which concert are you catching in Florida? It's a group called CIX. So I've actually seen them. I call them Six. I'm so sorry. I know they hate being called that, but like, that's just what I say. It's a group called Six. I've seen them a few times. I've actually seen them on every US tour that they've come on, but only because my sister's a really big fan of the group. Is that too? Oh my god. Anyway, she's a really big fan, so I usually go with her. So that's kind of why. My what? Your whole personality is K-pop? Not my whole personality. I mean, just this part. Just this channel. And ONEUS. I mean, ONEUS is just like my favorite group in the entire world. That's why. That's why. I like making the things that I enjoy my entire personality. So not K-pop, but ONEUS. My posture. Ah! You get any swag or just want to swag? Honestly, the only Six merch item I have is a light stick, but that's because I hate feeling empty-handed at their concert because like I've gone so many times, but I've never gotten like a shirt or anything. I should get one this time around, actually. Are you going to KCON? Okay, you know what? I really want to. I really do want to go to KCON because Ive is going. IVE is my favorite girl group in the entire world. However, KCON is expensive. KCON is really expensive, and like, so even though like I really really do want to go, it's like I kind of need a large amount of money to just fall out of the sky for me to actually go. I don't know. I'm trying to work it out, but it's looking really grim. How come I look like that? Maybe I just maybe I do this. Can you say hello to me, please? Hi. Yeah. Oh. Yeah. Yeah. Same 5-day plan or more since it's closer than Seoul. I think we are going for 5 days. Like we're flying in one day, and then we have. Wait, concert is the day after we fly in, I believe. Oh. I think. And then we have 1, 2, like 3 days to look around and stuff, and then we fly up. I guess it's 6 days, technically. You like K-pop? Yeah. Bye, guys. Bye. Have fun at school. Yeah, anyway, so today I'm gonna do a short stream. Because I don't know if you read the title, but I do have to be up pretty early. I have to be up a little early. I'm going on I have weekend plans. So I don't want to say, I have to be up at the crack of dawn to start my weekend plans. Am I looking forward to it? Kind of. Sorry. Kind of. I'm just not a morning person, so it's a little early, but what song do you like from K-pop? I like a lot. I like a lot of songs. Honestly, if you're asking for my what? My favorite song right now, it's probably way different than like my favorite song overall. This one, 6, your sis is more the heavy. The what? Oh, your sis is more the heavy fan. She must get the merch. Yeah, she got a sweater from the second tour. No. Wait, they've only been on 3 tours. No. No, they've been on 4. They've been on 4. She has a sweater from the second tour. I don't remember what she got the first tour. I don't think we got anything the first tour. Sorry. Last tour, she ended up getting a I don't know if she got any of the merch they were selling. Were we selling merch? I don't know if she got any of the merch that they were selling, but she did buy they call them snapshots, but they're Polaroids with like a member of your choosing. So she ended up getting a Polaroid with her bias. So I guess that counts as merch. This tour, I don't remember I don't even know what they have for merch yet. We might not find out till we get there, but hello, hi. Hey Queen, how are you? A little tired apparently. Hey, hi. Oh my gosh. Everyone's here. The gang is here. The gang is here. Are you getting VIP? Most likely. Me and my sister, we're trying to like discuss because there's 2 tiers, 2 meet and greet tiers. So we were trying to discuss this entire time which one we would want, because they're pretty much the same, except one you get the what is it? I think you get like a photo with like a member, like one member. Oh, yeah. Oh my god. I'm so sorry. I don't know why I'm tired all of a sudden. Not too sure. That's like really the only difference. And she wasn't too excited about wanting to get like a selfie with her favorite member, but I told her because last tour she got a Polaroid with her bias. I was like, maybe you should do it again. I don't know. I was trying to hype her up. So we're still trying to decide, but I think we will. I'm back for more. Welcome back. I'm not gonna yawn. Not gonna yawn, I'm not tired. So you're getting the hot tickets. Maybe. We actually do have our tickets for the concert right now. For Orlando. And they're actually really good tickets, I'll be honest. I'm a little scared, but I think they'll be really fun. I think they'll be fun. I almost yawned, sorry. I'm trying not to. I'm trying to like mind manipulate myself into thinking I'm not tired. How close to the stage? Honestly, okay. Do you guys really want to know? Do you want to know how close we are to the stage? I believe so. In the row, it's actually a little. What the heck? I was trying to hold that back and I couldn't. In the row, I think we're like in the middle, or we're on the end. It's like kind of confusing. We're either right on the end of the aisle or we're like right in the middle. I don't know. Anyways, we're second row. We're second row in the middle section. So there's 3 sections, and we're in the middle section in the second row from the stage. Now, again, I don't know if we're in the middle of the aisle or if we're on the end of the aisle, but I think it would be so slay if we were in the middle of the aisle, because we're in the middle section of the venue. So I think it would just be a really nice perspective if we were in the middle. Why? I mean, I'm not that tired, so I don't know why I'm acting like I'm that tired. Am I like pre-tired? I'm pre-tired from waking up so early tomorrow. Oh my god. OMG. Yeah. Anyways. Wait, what's today? Oh, it's the 14th. Oh my god. Oh my god. I'm gonna start sleeping on stream. Sleep stream. Ah. Jesus. Hello, hi. Usually go early, beat the crowd. To the concert? Well, see, for the venue, for most of the venues, there's seated seats. So, like, we can get there 10 minutes before the show starts and, like, it'll be fine. Do you know Stray Kids? Yeah, I do. I do. Bruh. Bruh. I am so sorry. I am so sorry. I'm going to their concert. I'm only 10. What are you doing here? Aww. Mind control. Mind control. 2 excited fans knocking elbows to get in. Yeah, that's so true. That's kind of why I'm really glad that they're seated. The other thing too, it's like I've gone to a lot of concerts in the past few years. So I've really learned like when a good time to go to the venue is. Now, I don't really care to be there once the doors open, because even then, in between when doors open and when the concert starts, it's still like an hour and a half. So now you're just hanging out inside the venue for an hour and a half. Makes no sense to me. So we usually go like if they're seated and like I have like I know I have a guaranteed seat, I will usually go at least like half an hour before Jesus. Jesus. Now if it's GA, that's a whole different story. That's an entirely different story. I'm bringing my parents. Oh, my parents are coming. Wow. You know what? I hope they have fun. I hope you have fun as well. Red Lights is my nightmare. I like that song. Please, 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 don't prove I'm right. I forgot the rest of the lyrics. What a day you must have had, those yawns. See, that's why I'm saying it's like I really didn't even have that hectic of a day. So I don't know why I'm so tired. I don't know why I'm so tired. Not sure. You know why, right? Felix is my fave, even though he's 15. No, he's not. Oh, God. I don't really know what I want to say to that. What songs do you want them to perform? 6? Honestly, I just really hope that they keep Bad Dream on the set list. Even though I've like seen that song. Sorry, I'm so sorry. Sorry. Even though they performed that song actually on their 2 most recent tours, it's my favorite 6 song ever. I'm so excited to see Thunder. I love that song. I'm scared. No, it's just I forgot all of a sudden that you were 10. And then you said 15 years older. And I was like, Felix is not that old. But Felix is 25, right? Or he's gonna be 25 this year. And then I was thinking about how old I am because Felix is younger than me. And I was like, oh. No, it's fine. It's fine. It's fine. Do you favor an airline from another? Like Spirit gets a lot of hate. You know what? If I could stop yawning, I could tell you. I subscribe. You're so cool. Thank you. Can you show your tattoo? Oh yeah. This is what it looks like. Teehee. I do actually have a favorite airline. I hate to tell you, it's probably Delta. Only because honestly it's like a lot of like what they have as opposed to what others don't have. It's really not about service or benefits or anything. The only reason why I like Delta the most is because most of the time they have the screens on the backs of the seats, so like I'm not bored and out of my mind. And also because Delta is the only airline that has the garden salsa sun chips for in-flight snacks. So that's kind of why I like Delta. My second favorite airline would probably be, you know what, I think they all kind of are the same after that. I only really fly Delta, okay, domestically. Domestically, I fly Delta, United, or sometimes American. And that's it. Like, I haven't really flown. I've flown Frontier a couple of times, and I've flown Spirit twice. But after I flew Spirit, because I flew Spirit like the first 2 flights I took ever in my life. And I realized I didn't like it, so I would kind of always just pay a little bit more for a little bit of a better airline. Now, sometimes, like Frontier these days is like the lowest I will go. So sometimes every once in a while I'll fly Frontier, but I usually only fly those 3. And I don't think I've flown anything else. Ever. Bad Dream is so good. I want to see Wave. Me too. I think they performed Wave on their second tour. First tour? Second tour. I don't remember the first tour that much because I didn't really know them at the time. I met Hongjung. What do you mean? You have to you can't just say that and like not elaborate. Delta is the most networked in the world. Learned the hard way when in Georgia, the country. What? Those sunships, that's the kicker. Yes. I've never flown JetBlue, so I don't really know. Shout out Delta holding it down. True. Turns out Air France, Air Canada, and Air Georgia are all just Delta partners. Wait, I wish I would have known that. Partners, I couldn't find their desks and had to go to the Delta desk for boarding pass. What? Wait, I actually wish I would have known that. Like, so bad. They don't teach this? Yeah. I went to the Save Me Kill Me tour, but they didn't perform Wave It myself. Okay, wait. Because you live near Phoenix, right? Did you go to the Phoenix stop for the Save Me Kill Me tour? Let me know. Let me know, it's important. Hi, hello. Isn't JetBlue expensive? See, I don't know. Okay, I explained this yesterday. I went into a little bit of depth about this, but I tend to stick to things that I know work or that I like. And so it's kind of the same, like with flights, is like, I realized really quickly that I kind of liked Delta the most. So I usually will try to fly Delta, but sometimes Delta is like expensive compared to like United or American. And in those cases, I just pick United or American because I also know that they're not bad flights either. Like, they're really not. It's just I do prefer Delta the most. Yes, I went to the Phoenix stop. Oh, wait, we went to the same one. I went to the Phoenix stop for the Save Me Kill Me tour. Actually, I don't know if you knew that. I have a vlog on it. What airline was it for the Seoul trip? It was Delta. Thank God. The only thing I didn't like about flying Delta to Korea was that there's only like maybe 8 airlines that fly into Terminal 2 in Incheon. And the rest of the airlines, the rest of like the 27 airlines that exist that fly to Incheon, fly into Terminal 1. And I really, really wanted like the full airport experience, like Korea Incheon airport experience. But I came out of the wrong terminal and I flew out of the wrong terminal, like because Delta is in Terminal 2. So I didn't get to have the true Incheon experience, airport experience. But overall, I think I really did like that. I liked Delta's flight to Korea. It was pretty nice. Couldn't get boarding passes through the partner apps, only Delta desk in person. What? American Airlines just for the meme. Yeah, see, these days, do I want to fly American Airlines? My favorite airline is probably... See, I don't even know how to say that. Germans got it figured out. I should expand and fly other airlines, but like, I'm a little scared. It's been a while since I watched a vlog. I didn't remember. Yeah, it's been like, what, 2 years since that tour? So like, it was 2 years ago, but no, I was there. That means we were there together. OMG. Yeah, that was crazy. So for that stop, that was the one we went to. Like, we picked, like, I don't know why we picked Phoenix of all places. We're not even from there. We flew to Phoenix and we actually camped out for the concert. We got second row. Well, no, we got barricade. We got barricade, but I think someone ended up... Okay, how do I want to say this? So for sound check, because we were really close to front, we had the whole, like, the top tier package. So for sound check, we got barricade, and it was actually really nice. Everyone had lots of room. When we went back in for the concert, we tried to say this thing, because the goofy thing about this was that they kicked everyone out for sound check and made them all go line up again. It's like, how come we can't just stay here until the concert starts? And they're like, you can't. And it's like, that makes no sense. So they kicked everyone out, and everyone was getting scared and anxious because, like, we all had really good spots. And so everyone was like, okay, how about we just make sure... It was especially everyone on barricade, because I knew second row was probably going to try to, like, squeeze in and get barricade if they could. Everyone on barricade was like, just try to stand beside the people that you're standing beside right now in the show. So, like, when we come back in, just make sure you're standing beside the same people you were standing beside for sound check, and everyone was on the same page. It was like, okay, yeah, that's awesome, that's cool. So they kick us out for sound check. Everyone goes lined back up outside, and then we get in for the concert. And it was kind of like, I would say like most people stuck to the routine we had, was making sure you were standing beside the same people. But I do think someone ended up squeezing in to barricade that wasn't there for sound check, because I was comfortably at barricade and so was my sister. But then we went back in for the concert, and it was like I was like barely trying to hang on to barricade. And um and so instead of like trying to like maintain my spot at barricade, I just decided I would stand behind my sister because she's the Six fan. So I was like, maybe she should stay at barricade. I'll just stand behind her. So I ended up standing in second row, but like my sister was barricade. So I guess, I guess. Who's your favorite K-pop idol? Oh, you mean like group or like idol? I think that's different. Forgot to ask before. Did you get a window seat to Korea? I did on the way there. I actually did. No, I did on the way there and the way back. So I flew in like mid winter, or it's January, like February. So like nobody's flying to Korea at this time. So like the plane was relatively empty. And so on the way there I had a window seat and nobody was sitting beside me. Thank God. Okay. That was actually my favorite thing ever. On the way back I had a window seat, but I looked on like the seating, like the seat map before we flew out, and I saw it because when I picked my seat, couple weeks before, or even a week before, there was nobody sitting beside me. But I looked again and now there was somebody sitting beside me, and I was like, I don't want to sit beside somebody for 12 hours. That sounds crazy. So I ended up switching my seat to an aisle seat in the middle where there was like 4 empty seats next to it. Like it was like in the second to last row at the back of the plane, but like I didn't care because I was already sitting back there anyways. And so I switched my seat to the empty aisle seat, and there was literally 3, 4 extra seats to my left. So yeah, I was like, I would much rather have that than to be squished next to somebody for 12 hours. Qatar Airlines was nice too, but planes are planes. That's so true. I remember seeing you guys walk out of the venue after sound check. That was, wait, me? Are you, oh no, no, you mean everyone, right? I didn't have VIP. Yeah, see, that was like we were trying to argue with the staff. Like everyone at Barricade was arguing. Well, we weren't arguing, but we were trying to be like, why are we getting kicked out after sound check? Like nobody does that. And they were like, sorry, you're gonna have to go stand outside. And it's like, okay. Now luckily everyone was pretty how would I say? We had like a line leader. I hate that term because there's things going on Twitter about line leaders. Um, but we had a line leader. She's the one that passed out all the wristbands and like the numbers and wrote everyone's name down in a notebook and what number they got. Now, again, this is like fan numbering, but because she was the one doing that, she kind of became like the unofficial line leader. So she told everyone, I think in soundcheck maybe, like before we all went outside, because we all knew she was the line leader. She was passing out wristbands all day. She told us that like when we got outside that um she would make sure that we were all lined up by our like numbers that we got, the numbers that they gave. And she actually did see to it. She like stood by the door as we were coming out and would ask us what number we had, because after sound check we went to merch. And so like people, like some people skipped merch and just went outside. Other people stood in line for merch. We were like what were we? What were we? 30? 20 something? 30? I don't remember. It was between 20 and 40. um but when we walked outside, she asked us what numbers we had and we told her. So she's like, "Oh, okay." And she pointed to some people and was like, "Well, they're this number, so you can go stand beside them." But the people in front of us like remembered, or what, they were behind us, maybe behind us, in front of us, I don't remember. They were near us in the line when we were camping out all day. And so they knew that we were right beside them, and so they like waved us over and let us get like where we were supposed to be. And everyone was doing that for the like next hour. And I thought it was so nice. I was like, man, like nobody's throwing a fit. Nobody's trying to like cut in line or anything. We're all kind of respecting the numbers that we had. I thought that was pretty nice. Um, good setup, especially if you want to sleep. Always somebody talking or baby crying. There was a baby crying behind me. But I don't really know if this is just me. I've become a little desensitized to babies crying. And so like I can sleep through them pretty well. Like it'll wake me up for sure, but it's not something that like bothers me. Like once I know that like the baby's crying and they're being tended to, I go back to sleep. And so there was a baby like quite literally in the row behind me was just not having a good time for a couple hours there, but like you know, I could hear that their parents were trying to calm them down and I'm just like, "Oh." Like I felt so bad almost. I also remember I was studying for an exam in line. I know, it was like mid-March. Like, hello? Hello? I fainted on an airplane once for no reason, and they almost landed and what? I woke up and screamed in the quiet cabin, "Don't land the plane," while checking if I... Wait, that's so funny. I would probably also say the same thing. They're like, "Oh no, someone's fainted, we should pull over." Pull over? We should land? I would be like, please no. Please just keep going. It's a country. I know it's a country, I just don't know how to say it. I don't know how to say it. North of Brazil. Oh, okay. You know what? I didn't know where it was either. I did know it was a country though. The lavatory, no long wait. Yeah. That is true. That is true. I ended up getting a 97 on the exam. Thank you, 6. Yeah. They sent good prayers that day. Yeah, so I'm actually, honestly, I'm a little glad that this tour, like this 6 tour, is seated because their last 3 tours were all GA. Now, I've never had a crazy experience with any of the 6 GA concerts, but I'm just kind of glad that it's seated this time. One of the worst, waiting for that, never mind the tight space. I know. It's so goofy. It's so goofy. The baby crying thing, same here. Oldest of 6 kids, babies are babies. Who could be mad? They need loving. That's kind of how I feel. Like, I'm like never irritated when I hear a baby crying on the plane. Because, like, you know, they're babies. Not only do they get restless here and there, but also, it's like their bodies are really not, like, developed to adjust to, like, altitude and pressure changes the way that the adults are. So, of course, they're gonna get fussy, you know? I don't know. It just kind of bothers me when people like you can very obviously tell that they're annoyed that a baby's crying. It's like, I don't like, that's just so strange to me. Hand me the baby. I will love the baby. Show it's out the window, give it cookies. Yeah. Yeah, that's pretty much what it was. And see, I don't know if it's also because I'm the oldest. I do have 2 younger sisters, and I used to help take care of them when they were babies as well. And so maybe that's why I've become kind of desensitized to it. Is like I will wake up to a baby crying, but if I can see that they are being tended to, then, you know, then I can like peacefully go back to sleep and just kind of ignore it. Like yeah, I'm actually pretty good at ignoring sounds like that in my sleep. Take an awesome pic next time, almost like having a private plane to yourself. See, okay, this was also the other like crazy thing to me is I learned people don't like sitting at the back of the plane, like in the last like 3-4 rows. And I'm like, why though? It like makes no sense to me almost, because I don't mind riding at the back of the plane. That's what I did for the Korea trip. Is like all of the free seats, there was some like kind of up the way, and then there was a bunch at the back. I was like, why is nobody sitting at the back? That's kind of why I picked my seats at the back. And so I was at the back of the plane. on the way there. But I didn't mind. Like, I was close to the bathroom. I was close to the snacks that they left out. Nobody's sitting back there, so I have all the space to myself. It was like such an ideal experience, low key. Such an ideal experience. What? Huh? Yeah. Anyways, I do need. What do I need? I don't. I'm almost. What am I trying to say? I do want to go on another international trip. Ideally, I would have liked to go back to Korea so I can do more sightseeings. Sightseeings? Sightseeing. But also, do I want to? Should I go somewhere else? I do want to go to Japan at some point. I would like to go to Japan, but I think Japan for me is like, I want to go for a week because I know that I most likely won't go back after that week. Unless I go to Japan and I just absolutely really, really like it. Then I might go back like one or two more times. But I just kind of feel like if I do go for a week, I'll see everything I need to see. And then I'll be good. Sorry. Braden fighting boredom. Mine's fighting sleep, apparently. Not the one for emergency seat. What is... I think I'm dying. Emergency seat / opening the door in emergencies. Yeah, oh my god. Okay. Funny story. One of my flights, I think it was back in November. On one of my flights, I swear to God, I don't really know how this happened or why this happened, but I picked my seat ahead of time on the plane. And I picked a window seat because I love window seats. Okay, I usually will only sit in a window seat. I've actually never sat in an aisle seat, so I don't know if I would enjoy an aisle seat. I've sat in a middle seat, but that was like when I just didn't have the option to pick my seat. Jesus, sorry. Sorry. And so I picked a window seat like a week or two, maybe it was even 2 weeks before, I don't remember. But this is what I'm saying. I swear to you, I picked a window seat, okay? So we get to like the flight and we check in. I always print out my boarding passes, even though I have them on my phone. I like to have the paper version as well, just in case. So I print out my boarding pass, and then I realize it put me in a middle seat. Like, they printed out, and it says the seat, and it's the middle seat. It's like E or something, or B. I don't remember. It was one of the middle seats, and I immediately was like, why am I in a middle seat, right? But then right below the seat number, it says exit row. And I was like, hello? I didn't ask for that. I would never willingly put myself not only in a middle seat, but an exit row. Okay? Now, I didn't tell the flight attendant or anything because I just kind of figured it was one of those things, like maybe somebody paid extra to take my window seat and then stuck me in the exit row. I don't know. It probably was something I couldn't fight against anyways. And so I was like, okay, well, it's only a 3-hour plane ride. It's fine. So, oh no, it was like 2.5. Anyway, so we get on the plane. Okay. I'm sitting here. I'm like freaking out low-key. Just a little low-key because like they make the exit row seem like it's all crazy and insane. So I get to my middle seat. I'm squished into like between two grown men. All right, they look like they're in like their 50s, and they look like they're both on business trips, but like not together. They're on separate business. I don't know. They looked very like posh and elegant. And here I was in my dingy little jacket, in my like super washed out jeans, and I sit down, okay? All right. So I sit down in between these two guys, all right? And because they're pretty like, they're like older, like I'm sure they were taller. That's probably why they were in the exit row. All right, and so I have to sit in between them, but because they're guys, right? It feels like I'm sitting like this the entire time. I was like, Um, anyways, so the lady does the thing. She like comes up, gives us the whole like, you know, the talk about what the exit row entails and has to just ask us, are you willing to sit in the exit row? As much as I wanted to be like, no, it's like honestly this flight is kind of full, so like I can't sit anywhere else anyways. So I had to just say yeah. And so I was scared the entire time. Not that I would ever need to use the exit row, but um the only thing I did enjoy about that flight was the fact that I had a bunch of leg room because it's exit row, and then I think it was a bathroom in front of us. So it was like a good 3-4 feet until the bathroom. And me, I got long legs. So this was like the best, like honestly, probably the only good thing about the whole flight was that I had leg room. I could extend my legs all the way out. Yeah. Anyways, that was like the only time I've ever been in the exit row. I had never gotten off a plane faster. I like grabbed my stuff and I ran. I was like, God, get me off of this plane. No, the boredom comment had to do with an earlier message I had in chat. Oh, sorry. Oh my God. One of my flights, I held the plane up for 20 minutes because I was drunk. When they boarded me, they sat me next to an angry guy. I wouldn't stop laughing at him. The flight attendant moved me to a safer location and tried killing me with glasses of water. Bro, that's my plane flight story, but does anyone care? You know what? That's an interesting story. Very interesting. 2 guys in it. No! Jesus. Like a sardine in a can with those business guys. That's what I'm saying. That's true. Either knocking your knees or elbows with the seating. Yes, and that's what, like, it's only because I have long legs that I tend to get uncomfortable on flights. Because I need to stretch out my legs, okay? But I don't have enough room in the seat to extend my legs far enough to stretch them. Like, I have to really get around everything to, like, properly stretch them. So that was, like, the only good thing about being in the exit row was that I did have stretching room. I'm back. I subscribed and liked. Thank you. Thank you. Welcome back. No. Sorry. Is that the right? Okay. Hello, hi. I get you. I move around a little too on flights. Yeah. Bye, gotta go. Okay. Bye. Bye. Sorry, I'm trying not to yawn. What the heck? I didn't know I was this tired. Jesus. Ever been catcalled? Yeah, a couple times. Honestly, okay. Can I be really honest with you in chat? Been on some long hour flights. I gotta move some. Yeah, see, okay. The longest flight that I had ever been on before flying to Korea was I flew from New York to Denver. And that was, I think, 4.5 hours, maybe 4 or 4.5, except I didn't stand up that entire time because it was also kind of at night. I think we left at like 6 and we landed at like 11 or something. I don't remember. The timing was like kind of strange. What? Wait, no. Yeah, no, we left at 6. We landed, well, in Denver it was 8 or 9 because of the time difference. But because it was like pretty late, I just slept most of the time on the plane, but I didn't stand up that entire time. So like I was sitting for 4 hours. Like, of course my legs were gonna hurt. That's insane. Because you're about to be? Oh. Okay, no, I was going to say, sometimes sometimes I do get a little insecure about the way that I maybe am perceived, because I don't think that I'm like that unattractive, okay? Um, like overall, like my whole entire appearance. Like I don't think I'm that unattractive. um, but like the older that I get, okay, how do I want to explain this? Basically, I used to get hit on a lot more when I was younger. Like I want to say maybe 3, 4 years ago, sometimes even 5. Okay, except looking back, I was not as attractive back then as I think I am now. But like that makes me even more confused because like nobody really hits on me anymore. And it's like not that I want them to, but like when I think back into like the experiences I was having a few years ago, it's like why was I having them back then when like I can so obviously see that I don't look um like I personally think I look a little better now than I did back then, but why was I getting more attention back then? And so sometimes it makes me kind of insecure because like what if it's like maybe in my head I think like what if I think that I'm more attractive than I actually am? Like everyone's looking at me and they're like, but in my head I'm like, yeah, I think I'm like a solid 5 out of 10 or something. I don't know. Did several Central and South American trips, a lot of sitting. I would love to go to South America. That's like a bucket list item, I think. You're a baddie. Thanks. They're intimidated now. See, are they? Like, do I look intimidating or I don't know. I think the psychology behind that does not make sense to me because I hear that all the time. Like, well, just kind of like on videos or like posts and stuff. People always say that the more attractive you are, the less likely you are to be approached or talked to or anything. But then it's to me, it's like that makes no sense. I feel like it would be the opposite way, even though like psychologically it's not. I don't know. It makes me kind of insecure sometimes. Makes me kind of sad sometimes. Supermodel. Okay, no, I don't think supermodel. I'd assume you're married. Is that true? Is that true? Honduras weather is great. Very good temps. A lot of adventure. Ooh, Honduras. Okay, my fear though about going to like any Spanish speaking country is that people are gonna walk up to me and then think I speak Spanish. And then they're gonna realize I don't speak Spanish and then they're gonna judge me for not being able to speak Spanish. But I'm like, why? Like now you're just assuming things about me. Because you're wholesome. Oh, thank you. You look married and content? Is that the word? Do I look married? Be honest. Do I look like I could be married? Stray kids, period. Simple misunderstanding. It's okay. 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 Hold on. Let me explain something. Not a big deal. It's usually not, right? Like when people come up to me and assume I speak Spanish, I'm like, sorry, I don't speak Spanish. Like most of the time people are like, oh, sorry, you know? Um, However, there's this culture that exists in America with, I think it's within the like Mexican American population where they tend to look down on um people who are Mexican who can't speak Spanish. Um from what I understand, right? Because they have a term for people who like are Mexican and can't speak Spanish. Mexican American, I guess, whatever. Um and I know it's a little bit of like a not so nice comment. And one of my fears, this has always been a fear because like sometimes it happens where people do come up to me. Well, they'll start speaking in Spanish to me and I'm like, "Oh, I'm so sorry. Like I don't speak Spanish." And I feel like that thought always goes through my head of like, what if they like immediately think you're like, they look at me and they're like, why don't you speak Spanish, you know? And it almost just makes me want to be like, I'm not even Mexican. I'm so sorry. Like I'm not one of you. I have no obligation to know Spanish. I'm sorry. And anyways, it's kind of a joke that to native people have as well, is that we kind of look like ambiguous. Like a lot of people don't assume we're native, so they'll assume we're like Mexican or Filipino or like anything other than native. Um and so it's also kind of a thing within like native communities, is like we get stereotyped by people um that we're not similar to. I don't know. Sometimes it's just, I always wonder. This makes me wonder. 안녕하세요. 안녕하세요. Had the language thing happen in Georgia country. A girl walked up to me and spoke Georgian. Georgie, what? Uh-huh. I was like, no, English. And she said, oh, never mind. No, that's what I'm saying. It all depends on the upbringing. It does. It does. I think based on like online communities, I do know that there is that kind of um topic amongst like Mexican people in America. And so sometimes it just makes me wonder, like if someone sees me and I'm like, oh, I don't speak Spanish, and then they're like, oh. I'm like, oh. The need, huh? Georgia's a country south of Russia, east of Turkey. Oh, you know what? I didn't think it was there. I do know Georgia is a country. I do know that. Someone thought I was Arab. Oh, yeah, see what I'm saying? It's like, it does make sense. Especially like as a native person, I understand how people assume I'm everything else except for native, because like you don't really meet a lot of native people in your everyday life anyways. So I completely understand that. I just think it's funny sometimes. Do you remember me? I do. You look so cute today. Thank you. Real Caucasians in Georgia play. Oh, is that so true? I'm Hispanic, so I was a bit confused by that. That's fair. Yeah, honestly, at this point, why are we assuming people's ethnicities anyways? See, for me, when I want somebody to know that I'm native, I always wear native made things. So like I can almost guarantee you, if somebody came in here and saw my earrings, they would know exactly what they are if they were native. So because these are native made. Sometimes I like to wear like beaded earrings and stuff, just more like when I want people to know. Since the system is all English, not much of a need for other languages in the school system. So, like, in my shoes, I didn't need Spanish till I did more travels to Central and South America. Yeah, I think it's kind of a strange, like, argument for people to expect, like, Mexican American people to know Spanish. Because a lot of the times, like, what happens is people will come from Mexico to America and then they'll start like a family here, right? They'll have kids and all this stuff. And a lot of times they won't teach their kids Spanish because probably for the same mindset of like they feel like they won't need to know Spanish in their life, like their daily life, because they live in America. I don't know. It's, you know, things I've heard here and there. So they don't teach their kids Spanish. So then their kid grows up, doesn't know Spanish. My friend is kind of in that dilemma. Her dad speaks Spanish because he's from Mexico, and her mom's native, but her dad didn't teach her how to fluently speak Spanish. I think he spoke a lot of words, and sometimes he would speak in Spanish around her when she was younger, but he never really like taught her how to speak Spanish, so she doesn't fluently speak Spanish. I think she understands it way better than she speaks it. But that's just from like hearing him all the time. And so I kind of know that that happens too, is that they don't. Sometimes parents just don't teach their kids Spanish. So I feel like that's like a strange argument for like some people to look down on others that like didn't have the same privilege that they did. You know? Oh, the mountains. I was really missing your lives so bad, you know? Oh, well, at least you made it this time. Hit the nail on the head. Yeah, see, I think it's because I also have experience with this in like my own, within like my own culture and people. Your bangs looks perfect on you. Oh, thanks. Thank you. Because we also have the same dilemma with language, like with our own language. But it's not really the same thing of like, oh, it's just that like our parents and grandparents didn't want to teach us the language. It's the fact that like, so for me, it's my grandparents' generation because they went to boarding school, is that the language was forced out of them. Like they used to be abused when they would speak their language. And so when the boarding school era ended and they, you know, all these kids that were in the boarding schools like grew up and had their own kids and families, they, you know, you have this association with speaking your native language, um, being connected to like being like abused and all this stuff. And so a lot of people didn't want to teach their kids how to speak the native language because they have, you know, they might fear that like if their kids speak the native language, then like they'll have to go through the same thing they went through, the boarding school era. And it's also boarding schools were created to assimilate natives and to make them like part of like society. And so then other people would think like, well, um, you know, we can't live that way anymore. We're not supposed to live that way anymore. So why would I teach my kids um something that like they're not supposed to use because that's not the direction we're going. I don't know. Um, and then other parents, kind of like in my unfortunate situation, my grandmother, forgot the language. Okay, because it was so forced out of her um, that she would only speak English all the time and was not really using her native language, and so she forgot. So by the time my dad grew up and then I grew up and stuff, it's like now we can't learn because we don't really know the language anymore. It's false expectation just because they don't really fully understand how it works. Yeah. That's true. I don't know. I feel like there's always pros and cons to a lot of different things. Um, yeah, true. Okay, team. I'll do 5 more minutes of stream. Because like I said, I have to be up with the sun tomorrow. So I do at least want to get a little bit of a good sleep. So I'll do 5 more minutes of stream. And then we'll end for the night. So like I said, I won't be here this weekend, so I can't stream this weekend. I actually won't be back until Monday, but not till Monday night, so I'm not going to stream Monday night. I think the earliest I'd be back is next Tuesday for stream, but again, I might be a little tired, so maybe even Wednesday. But anytime after Tuesday is when my next stream will be. What's happening? Oh, we're just yapping. We're yapping about anything and everything. I'm actually only going to do 5 more minutes of stream, so we'll miss you. I know, isn't that such a long time? I almost feel kind of bad. It's like 5 days. No, it'll fly by though. It'll fly by. And I'll be back in no time. Like my neighbor just last week thinking it was a discrimination thing, like why no Spanish was in the school systems, not knowing it's all English based since it's establishment. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, that's the other thing too, is that it's all English based, I feel. I just woke up and missed this stream mostly. Yeah, see, I did a bit of a short stream today, so it could be longer, but what's your MBTI? My MBTI is I am an ENTP. Yeah. Lisa who? What I mean, lack of understanding. Oh, because, yeah, I get it. I get it. You're extrovert? Yes. Yes, I am. Honestly, sometimes I feel like a fake extrovert, but then I see the things that like I like to do and that I do, and I'm like, yeah, no, because an introvert would not do that. You seem like you're an introvert. Really? No, in person, honestly, I do think I'm pretty extroverted. And like looking at like the main traits of what I like to do is like I am pretty extroverted. You do seem kind of introverted, but also extroverted. Really? Okay, to be fair, maybe it's just because like on stream like this, I don't seem that like extroverted. The kind of the ways that I define being extroverted, because when I took an MBTI. The first time I took an MBTI, I was an INFP. Okay, looking back at that, that's crazy and insane. But then I took it again and it changed to an E, and I was like, why would it change to an E though? Like I do feel like I'm kind of an introvert. But then I started kind of comparing like people I knew who were like introverts to things that I like to do, and we would like compare kind of the same situations. And it was like, yeah, you're definitely kind of like, for me, like I'm definitely kind of like an outgoing person. Um like I'm not really afraid to like just go up to people and start talking to them. Um I always like large events and stuff. Like large events and like being in crowds and whatnot does not tire me out at all. Matter of fact, it makes me kind of energized. I think that's why I'm so addicted to like concerts and stuff. I don't know. I love the energy at concerts. Did you get a chance to talk to Soho? No. No. Wasn't he online last night? No. It was Hwanwoong. Hwanwoong was live at the same time that I was live, but then as soon as I ended the live, so did he. Like, that's goofy. What time is it there now? It's 10:30 here. I'm an ambivert. See, that's what I thought. I thought it was like a bit of both. But the more that I take this test, the more I become an extrovert. So I'm like 70% an extrovert and like 30% an introvert. I'm an introvert? Oh my god. How much you want to bet everyone here is an introvert? Because you know what they say. They say that extroverts tend to find all the introverts. And vice versa. Bummer. Yeah, I know. I wish I could talk to Soho. Soho, come back. Soho, no. No, Soho's gonna be gone until next August. So, yeah, there's that. I've got an introvert mostly in MBTI tests, so it makes sense. Are those scheduled or random online? So when they do the lives, they're random. It's kind of the same thing of like what I do here is like I'll just set up and I'll just press live and then we just kind of hope for the best. It's like the same thing with them too. It's like they don't really plan their live streams, the impromptu ones. Have you ever been to any concerts? I've actually been to a lot. I've been to a lot of concerts. My most recent concert was One We, which is it's actually a band that I really like. And that was 3 weeks ago. That's already 3 weeks ago. Man. yeah, that was my last concert. My next concert, hopefully, hoping and praying to God that, again, a large sum of money just falls out of the sky and into my lap. Um, I really want to go see Baekhyun. Oh my god. Even just saying it, I'm like, okay. I really want to go see Baekhyun in Chicago because Baekhyun, I can't. Okay, sorry. Baekhyun is like my absolute most favorite like artist. Well, I would say biased because okay. So my number one most favorite group in the entire world is EXO. All right, even above ONEUS. All right, you think I love ONEUS? I love EXO even more. And my bias in EXO is Baekhyun. Okay, and I've been a fan of EXO for like 10 years. So Baekhyun, like I've been a fan of Baekhyun for 10 years, right? And so it's like, so I can't. Every time I think about it, I'm like, oh my god. Anyways, I'm a really, really big fan of Baekhyun, and he's going on tour. Okay, and I really, 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 really have to go because this will be the first time I would ever see Baekhyun. I'm not okay. I'm not okay. It would be the first time I ever see Baekhyun, and I absolutely have to. I really have to. So I'm hoping and praying. I'm hoping and praying that a large sum of money just shows up at my doorstep and is for me, so I can go see Baekhyun. Because if I don't, I will quite literally cry for like a month straight. Like it, so. Mm. I've never been to a concert. What? A big bag. Bag. Why did I say that? A big bag of money. Yes. Yes. Over ONEUS. Yeah. No, EXO is literally my number one. Quite literally my number one group. Even over ONEUS. The whole wall covered and they're in second place. Well, okay. Here's the thing though. ONEUS is my like they are my second like favorite group like of all time. It's just that ONEUS debuted in 2019. And so they've been active this entire time. Um from 2019, which is actually when I became a fan. I became a fan really early. So I've been a fan this whole time. And it was also around the same time. So like EXO, they debuted in 2012. I became a fan at like the end of 2014. So I was a really, really big EXO fan up until 2000, I was gonna say 2019. 2019, because that was the year that that EXO started enlisting in the military. And so I knew that EXO wasn't really going to be having a lot of group activities or just activities in general. Um, and so it's crazy that it kind of worked out that like ONEUS debuted in the same year and that I became a fan that same year because I was so convinced that I was not going to stan another group after EXO. Like I thought, like I love EXO with my entire life, and I was convinced I could not like another group as much as I liked EXO. And so that's why I say it's crazy that like ONEUS debuted that year and then I became a fan like 5 months after they debuted. And now ONEUS is like I love them as much as I love EXO, but I still love EXO a little bit more. Oh, but that's just because I've been a fan for longer of EXO than I have of ONEUS, which is why they're in second. But I still really, really, really love ONEUS. I love ONEUS. Oh my god. What's your favorite girl group then? You mean of all time or right now? Because that's also kind of the same situation. Don't tell Soho. You know what? I'm sure Soho knows. I'm sure Soho would understand. I think he would understand. Okay? Because Baekhyun has been my bias for 10 years. Soho has been my bias for 6. Like, be so fair. Be so fair. All time. My favorite girl group of all time is Girls' Generation. um, And then after, okay, a really, really sad fact is that after Girls' Generation, it was Luna. I was a big Luna fan. Um, but then they started going through like all of their like crazy stuff, and I felt bad for keeping up. Keeping up? I just kind of felt bad, I think, and it made me too sad because they were like one of my old girl groups. And so I kind of moved on from Luna to Everglow, and then Everglow is my favorite girl group for a while, and now it's IVE, but it's still all of them. Like, I still really like all of them. So yeah, so right now, at this moment in time, it's IVE. I love IVE. I'm a big fan. I'm a really big fan, and that's why I have to go to KCON, so I can go see IVE. Because I miss IVE. I do miss IVE. Anyways, I'm yapping too much, okay? I was gonna end stream like 5 minutes ago. Anyways, I'm going to end the stream here so that I can get some rest, okay? Yet there's only evidence of one of us. Okay, well, EXO hasn't promoted as a group since 2019. Okay, before then, my room used to be covered in EXO. All right, and then they went on not hiatus, kind of a hiatus, and then I became a fan of ONEUS. All right. Anyways, I'm going to go get a few hours of sleep before I have to be up at the crack of dawn. Like I said, my next stream will not be until next week sometime. So, since I won't see you until then, I hope you guys all have a good weekend. I hope you all have a fun weekend, safe weekend, okay? Thank you so much for hanging out with me today, even though it was pretty short. Well, it wasn't that short, but it was short. And I will see you all next week. I'll just say on the next stream. All right, bye everyone. Have a good night and have a good sleep or a good day, whatever it is for you. Okay, bye.